Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers, if you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money, so we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now, on with the show.
Rebel Rousers, welcome back to Rebellion Reborn, a segment of Primatech Files, which of course is a Southgate Media Group podcast dedicated to all things Heroes Prime and Heroes Reborn related things. I am Lilith, and with me, as always,
it's Ricky. Hello.
Up for discussion today, we're going to discuss the ebook, A Matter of Trust. And Ricky finally read A Brave New World, and we have some listener feedback from Twitter and Facebook. So, where do you want to start?
Let's start off with, you know what? I'm going to start off with, not feedback, but I've just been reading. I'm literally going to be reading these books week to week for the podcast. I've seen, like, the excerpts that they've put on, like, TV Insider and, like, EW and all that. And I've read some people aren't very happy with, Save the Cheerleader, Destroy the World, and, you know, they think it's kind of out of character, some of the stuff that happens, and that's fair enough, you're entitled to your opinion, but the way I see it is kind of, at the end of the day, like, this has kind of gone through the editing process, and, you know, Tim says it's canon, so...
Well, you know, Saving Charlie initially started off as canon, and then with so many complaints it got thrown out of canon,
yeah.
So you never know what could happen, actually.
Yeah, fair enough. Especially, I like that they've kind of resolved who the father is. I've read who the father is, and yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to it. So, obviously, we've talked to David Bishop himself, and I finally got to read through the novella of the first episode, and there's only a couple of things I kind of want to bring up. At the beginning, you've got the Haitian and HRG meeting up, and it seems like, obviously, the Haitian knows that Claire is pregnant, and I'm just wondering if, like, she's kind of been working with Hero Truther at some point, because otherwise, you know, how else would he know, I guess? At the beginning, there's a little Red Strings of Fate bit where Noah passes the Collinses, but he obviously doesn't know who they are. But they make, like, reference to it pretty much that, you know, there's a kid in front of them, and it's an interracial couple, so I think we all know who that is. Also, the novella says that, you know, Suresh kind of has claimed responsibility for, like, what's been happening with the vigilantes, with the Collinses. And I was just wondering, like it just made me think, like, who actually has been putting his name to say that he's, you know, claiming the responsibility? Like, is it Renatus? Like, why would Renatus bother? Do you know what I'm saying? What do you think?
It's a drop plot point. Let it go, Ricky.
Fair enough. And then, obviously, at the end, you brought it up already, that the Haitian or Rene says, you know, it's not what do you not remember, it's who. So I think, you know, they should have said whom, because it was two of them.
Ooh, Ricky breaks out his British grammar Nazi police side.
Yeah, basically.
First of all, Rene is Haitian, so French is his first language. Cut him a break. Okay.
Fair enough.
You don't talk bad about the Haitians.
Yeah, and that's basically all I've got to bring up. I enjoyed the book for what it was, you know, just a novelization of the first episode. So it didn't really give us much more apart from kind of drop plot points, but it was still it was a decent enough read. So yeah.
How did you like the Collins' section with the interstate? That was my favorite part of the book.
I really quite liked it. And I also I put out on Twitter that when I was reading the Escalating Evolution thing, I could hear Sendhil's voice, like, in my head reading it as I went through it. But yeah, I like the little bits that, you know, they kind of added extra. I thought the way that you were talking about Cole Cutler, that it seemed like he was going to be a much bigger part of the book. But, you know, he's in it for a little bit, but it's not that much. So yeah.
Hashtag bring back David Bishop to do a whole Cole Cutler book.
Oh, we need Cole Cutler. It's just the name is just It's just Cole Cutler. I love it. So yeah, we might as well go on to Matter of Trust.
Yeah, okay, so A Matter of Trust was written by Timothy Zahn. I remember that I'm actually familiar with him because I was reading Star Wars books. Don't judge me. I'm nerdy. Y'all should know this by now. And also, he's done a couple of other, like, universe things. He's done, like, Terminator Salvation, Trial by Fire, a little book about that. And also, what was it, Quad Rail that I read? So, yeah, I'm actually really familiar with this. And it's kind of... like, I guess they went out of their way to find people who, like, write books for, like, a place, like a movie or TV's universe. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because David was talking about how he did a lot of Doctor Who kind of stuff as well. And, yeah, I think that's right. They're going out their way to get people who are already established as writing for already established universes. I think Timothy Zahn, he did, like, the Thorn trilogy, I think it's called, which is like quite a major, like a lot of people were thinking that was going to be what 7, 8 and 9 were. But just off topic, what do you think about all those books not being canon anymore?
It's hogwash, I tell you. Pure hogwash.
When my friend found out, he was absolutely angry because he was just like, I spent all this money on all these books. And yeah, so...
Yeah, I still buy the graphic novels, which is actually produced by Titan as well, just like our graphic novels for Heroes Reborn. So, yeah, I know the feeling.
That's still...
Anyway.
So, yeah.
This book, I don't think that Father Mauricio needed a book, but it wasn't really about him. They kind of snuck the Gutierrez family in the back door.
Yeah, I think... I quite enjoyed it. Like you said, I don't think he needed to have a book, but it was nice to kind of get some context to his character and why he was kind of doing what he was doing. And yeah, the Gutierrezes were in the background, but it also kind of gave a little bit of nice little winks to kind of the overlying plot, like obviously El Vengador, but also just like why, like looking back on it now, like why Oscar wasn't at the summit meeting, like, and we saw, like, in one of the premiere episodes, a list of names and Oscar's name was on it as not there, and that kind of tells you why he wasn't there. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a lot of world building. I mean, these books are, like, late. This book particularly was like a whole, like, month and a half late when it came out, so...
Yeah, it seems like... I like the fact that they've dropped them all now, because it gives me something to do in the hiatus.
You think that's what they decided on? They were like, well, you know, now we have this whole hiatus. Let's give them something to do since we're not giving them free graphic novels or whatever.
Yeah, probably. I think you can kind of see how they would have done this week in, week out. I think probably...
month to month.
I don't know. I think they could have done it week in, week out, or like released them at certain points. So, you know, there was that kind of under the mask kind of thing where they could have had this come out. And then, like, June 13th, they could have, or June 13th, part 2, they could have had Save the Cheerleader, Destroy the World come out. You can kind of see kind of links to when they could have brought them out. But I like that, you know, they've dropped them all because, you know, 6 weeks, 5 books, read them week to week. Done.
So anyway, this book was fun. It was an easy read.
Yeah.
Thank God, because it's on an e-reader, you know.
I'll just go through a brief kind of synopsis of the kind of book. So it's Maurizio. He's formerly a coyote or coyote. I don't know. Just reminds me of
Maya and Alejandro.
And I like the way that his powers kind of... It's weird because obviously they make it seem like he likes kind of clouds and, you know, he's always just liked looking at them and stuff like that. And that's during like a car crash is when his powers manifest, which again kind of leads kind of leads into the whole kind of adrenal gland kind of manifesting powers. And he says, you know, he's going to change his life if he survives. Obviously he does, becomes a priest. And I like the way that, you know, they kind of, he says he uses his powers to kind of check on parishioners, but also just the parish itself by going into the cracks and finding like anything that could destroy the...
That's creepy.
I kind of...
I don't care how you slice it, that's creepy.
And then we talk about how he talks about how he meets Simon Navarro, who has the power to kind of vision manipulation, making people blind or blind people see, but it's only kind of like for an hour, and that's how it links back into the Gutierrez's eyes.
Their grandmama, their abuela.
Yeah, it just goes on from there. Like, he's teaching this boy how to kind of use his powers. Then Odessa happens, and, you know, it kind of changes the landscape of Evos. And I like the fact that they bring up, you know, what the church's kind of point of view is of Evos, and the fact that they kind of have no allegiance about what they want to say, but they still kind of, you know, do what they do. And they have like a red herring with this Father Gunther, or Gunther, I don't know.
Lyndhurst, yeah.
And he's like kind of creeping on Mauricio, and at the same time he kind of hears rumors about Canada and Saskatchewan, and a place where Evos will be welcomed with open arms, and he kind of...
Yeah, they keep bringing it up, and then they, like, in the TV show, they even brought it up quickly, and then it was just, like, nothing.
Yeah.
It's pissed me off ever since.
He starts his little underground railroad, and he kind of needs someone to help him out, so he kind of quickly enlists the help of someone called Kim, who kind of becomes his right-hand woman, and then they go...
She's a hacker.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, and then they have to go find a forger, and that's basically
Diego.
Yeah, the gist of the kind of story is the two of them trying to find a forger, and, you know, the red herring kind of turns out to be a red herring, and it's not the big bad, it's actually Simon, and he kind of turns on them because he wants power. And they bring up this really weird thing of Father Gunther is kind of he's working for a company, but they never say it's not Renatus, it's someone bigger, and I don't know if that's probably a drop plot point again.
Bitch, it's Primatech coming back in full force.
No,
Angela got it in control.
I'm still going with the organization from Hero's Destiny is making a comeback.
Oh, you just want everything to come full circle.
Definitely.
They don't even remember that stuff, Ricky.
I do, and that's good enough for me. Yeah, we find out that kind of Father Gunther has the power to make people reveal their powers, and Kim has the power to, like, fly. And that kind of... I don't know about you, but when I found out that this woman could fly and she was in LA, I was like, well, is that not the random flying girl from when Dirty Deering does the raid on that house and beats the crap out?
That's what I thought too.
Right, yeah? And I was like, maybe it is, but no, on Heroes Wiki, they've kind of put her as a...
Yeah, exclusive to the ebook.
But in my mind, she is Flying Girl from that episode. So yeah.
No, Flying Girl!
Flying Girl! Yeah. El Vengador saves the day, and that's where their partnership kind of starts. And that's basically a matter of trust, because, you know, it's all about a matter of trust. Apparently.
A dark matter of trust.
Definitely.
I just still can't get over that they made the priest the Holy Ghost. That was his power. Like, I'm still just like, and then they try to clean it up. Oh, he just likes clouds.
Yeah. It felt kind of like, I don't know, it feels like a kind of Smallville kind of power, and the fact that, you know, in the original kind of series of Smallville, the monsters of the week were people, they were like, oh, I'm angry, so I'm going to turn into fire, or I want to lose weight, so I'm just going to eat fat off people, basically. It felt kind of like that. But yeah, I enjoyed the book. It was a decent enough read. So what else did they bring up? They bring up that kind of unregistered Evos cannot leave the country, because obviously, you know, they're unregistered, and that's basically...
danger to society.
Exactly. But yeah, that's basically all I have. They have another...
thinly veiled references on immigration policies. Very thinly veiled.
What else? I don't think there was anything else that kind of was brought up. That kind of not links into the show, but like little Easter eggs to the actual show. Like, I think the only thing that I picked out was that, you know, Oscar wasn't at the summit, and that's why, you know, his name appears on that list, and that's the only thing.
They could have fleshed out Jose a little more too. Like, I thought they were gonna do so much more with Jose. Like, I thought we were literally gonna have the Batman and Robin situation, and then Father Mauricio shows up like, ooh, Alfred, and then they just all get captured. They're like, put the brown people to the side.
I think that's coming. I think that's the next episode. I think the next episode is going to be a kind of Carlos-centric episode, and kind of joining him with Hero Truther.
You know, he's like one of the most divisive characters on the show. People really, like, half the people are really not feeling it. Like, I've been, like, reading the forums because I have nothing else to do, and I've been this Heroes Reborn. I'm like, you leave Ryan alone! You leave him alone! I think in the end it's going to pay off.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm reading the forums as well, and all I'm getting is, when is Sylar coming back, and when is Peter coming back?
Where's Peter?
I'm just like, when are you going to get over it?
Do y'all not understand what Milo said? He means it. He's one of those actors. When he says something, he's cut his ties. Yeah. He means it.
And it's definitely like, he said it far too much and said it in such a way that it's not going to happen. Like, I can see Hero or Massey coming back for like a one-off guest appearance. Like, even though he said he only had 3 episodes, I could see him coming back. But yeah, I can't see Milo coming back at all. Sorry, guys.
I'm just still disappointed with Matt Mohinder in the House of M.
She could still be alive somewhere, but I don't think she...
This is an okay book, though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a decent enough read. I got it through it in a couple of hours with a couple of breaks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the kind of next ones as well. What is the next one? Dirty Deans.
Dirty Deans. we pegged that. You pegged that on the head.
Yeah. And that's basically it. So I guess I'll go through... Unless you've got anything else?
No. You got any news, or what else do you want to talk about?
That's all. You got anything?
No, I mean, I just see all these like rehashed interviews and all these like little offbeat like websites, like LA IBN Times or something like that had one with Joanne Collins.
Yeah.
Joanne Collins. Judith. See, she's gonna be that character forever now. Oh my God, dude! Do not, whatever you do not bring up Joanne Collins on Reddit. They really, really do not like that character.
Oh, it's such a shame. She could have been such a good character, but I don't.
It's like Nikki in reverse, dude. It's just.
Oh God. Anyway, so I'll just go on to feedback. So the first person I've got to send a shout out to is Lady Vice's Virtue, because stuff. She's
reasons.
Reasons. Next we have at Adrian Yelianto, who says, I think the strategy of quickening the overall plot eventually will backfire. Too much details left unexplained to the viewers. I don't know if there's unexplained details. I think it's just people kind of picking up on little minute details. What do you think?
I mean, they fill them in if you want to spend the money. I mean, I think a lot of that stuff is deliberately kind of like, hey, if you really are down for it, there's other places where you can find out more. I mean, we're just spoiled because they gave it to us for free 99% of the time, and now we have to pay for it because it's 2015.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Nerdy Girl X, who says, I was just thinking, is Matt Parkman evil to protect his son, or maybe Erica already has Junior? No.
He just got tired of getting stepped on. Yeah. Deal with it, people.
I really think that is the best excuse for him, because when we were rewatching it, it was obvious that he was always kind of the stepped upon character, and I really like the reasoning behind why him just saying those words. It was just like, yes, this makes sense. He is evil, obviously, but he's also doing it for a reason. He's doing it to protect his kids, or protect his family, from the upcoming Healy. So yeah. He's doing what he can. Next up, on Twitter, I did a quick poll, and on Facebook. So, yeah, I will start off with the Twitter. I said, how would you have preferred to watch Heroes Reborn and why? So, obviously, there was week to week and there was Binge-Watch. From 23 votes, week to week got 52% and Binge-Watch got 48%. The only person who kind of responded is blue_is_warm. He said week to week because it feels more like a comic book and bigger budget. Binge-Watch, it's more of a show. So, yeah, how would you have preferred to have watched it?
Binge-Watch, hands down. And it's not that I'm impatient. It's just the way that their storytelling goes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that bump in the road with Sunday, Bloody Sunday, you could have just glossed over that and had the next episode. Yeah, you know what I mean? Definitely. Instead of that letdown. Yeah,
and I think even with like the quote unquote full finale, it was kind of just felt like, I don't know how it is. I think Heroes has always been that kind of show that has to kind of be binge watched, whether it was the original or this one, just because of the to be continued. And I think the way that they tell the story and the way it's so layered, I think it has to be binge watched. So yeah. And I asked the same question on Facebook. I did binge watch week to week, and then someone added however I can, and I got 18 votes for binge watch, 8 for week to week, and 3 for however I can. Hardworking Deb just says the words binge. Benjamin Alexander Hartug said, I love watching episodes weekly first because it helps build the suspense, and I try to speculate about what happens. On Netflix, it's all just there, and I just have to watch. Jeff Petrelli just says, I can't wait to get the DVDs. Corinne Prevost says, Netflix, because I need subtitles. I understand English, but most of the time they don't articulate, kind of like me. Clint Watts says, how would have I preferred to watch Heroes Reborn? In a mansion, on a big comfortable couch, cuddled next to Elle Bishop, but reality.
I like that answer. Me too. What's up, Kristen Bell? We should binge Heroes together.
Cuddle next to Elle Bishop. Well, good luck with that. She's dead. So I would have to say week to week because I want it the second it's out. You can still do the same with that the Netflix, but yeah. And finally, Jane Callan Griffin says, week to week, I want to see it the moment it's out. I think for a podcast, I would prefer week to week, obviously, because, you know, it's easier to kind of write about and talk about and speculate. And you kind of had that week to week to kind of have those kind of discussions about it. But I think just as a fan of the show, I just wanted to binge watch it all in one go.
And now it is time to wrap it up. We want to thank you for joining us on this edition of Rebellion Reborn. We hope you found it entertaining and informative. And please don't ever be afraid to reach out to us on social media. You know, we got the Twitter, the Facebook, the Tumblr, the Google Plus, whatever you got, we got it too. Hit us up.
Keep the rebellion alive.